Am I audible, guys? Yeah, finally I can see few guys. Great. I can. So, without wasting a minute, welcome you all, guys and girls, for this beautiful session on Sparkling Smile. So, in this session, what you guys should expect is the science behind the tooth whitening, that is bleaching. We'll be discussing. If you want, we can extend this topic to veneers. Okay, veneers, maybe direct and indirect, but my first two sessions will be more focused on bleaching. So today we'll be discussing regarding the science behind tooth whitening, cases to advise, that is, what are the ideal cases to go with bleaching, dental bleaching protocols, and techniques like vital tooth whitening, non-vital tooth whitening in office bleach and home bleach. So these are things which we all will be covering. So starting with the topic, now basically we have been seeing a lot of bleaching cases through the social media channels, and also you must have done few cases in which you must have used the most common bleaching kit, the Polo Office. But today we'll be discussing more what are the components, how the bleaching action acts, and what are the add-ons which we can follow post bleaching and pre-bleaching, so that we have good results and least post operative symptoms. So guys, basically it's a procedure that involves lightening of color. Basically, main indications of bleaching, obviously, when the tooths are more darker or there's staining, intrinsic or extrinsic, and then we want the tooth to appear more whiter or brighter. So basically, it's a procedure that involves lightening of color of tooth through the application of chemical agent to oxidize the organic pigments in the tooth. So basically, it's a procedure in which all the pigmentation which has occurred within the tooth or external to the tooth, the organic pigments which have been incorporated within the enamel or surface of dentine, we use a oxidizing agent, very strong oxidizing agent, which causes oxidation of these organic pigments and helps the tooth to brighten by decreasing the perception of these pigments. Basically, it's a lighting of the pigments, and the light which falls on these pigments will appear as normal color of the tooth rather than the pigmented color. So cases to not to do for bleaching, basically, so we are more focused on indications, but today I'll be starting with contraindications or cases which you should not select. Okay, the cases which you shouldn't select for bleaching are usually patients with severe dental hypersensitivity, because when you go for a bleaching protocol, obviously you do a pre-visit dental scaling. Okay, so dental scaling जब हम करते हैं, we are much aware that the patient's teeth are sensitive or not, because when we touch the scaler, few of the patients you will feel they are hypersensitive, so they are not the right candidates for I'll say bleaching. So patients with strong dental hypersensitivity or extensively restored tooth, especially the anteriors of premolars, and teeth with hypoplastic marks and cracks, that is, there is pitting or there are crack lines are there, or defective restorations. These are the cases which are not ideal for bleaching. Okay, we can do in some with some modifications, but they are not ideal. You can opt for other options, but okay. And now the commonly used, before starting with the indications I'll be more focusing when I start with the techniques. So always remember those cases which you should not follow regarding the hypersensitivity, widely restored tooth, cracked tooth, or defective restorations. Now, before starting with the main protocols or the science behind the bleaching, I must give a brief introduction of the common components or a composition of a bleaching, I'll say agents or different components which are present in a bleaching kit. So commonly in, I'll say, Western countries, home bleaching is very much in demand and commonly used by routine patients, routine individuals. So in home bleaching, we commonly use carbamide peroxide, which is available in different concentrations. That is 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%. And in office bleach, it usually has a high concentration of around 35% in the form of solution or gel. So home bleaching mein you will feel the composition more of the carbamide peroxide. That too ranges from 10 to 20%, depending. So in home bleaching, the techniques in which the patient is performing the procedure, we just provide a tray or a customized tray to them in which he puts his bleaching solution, and he either keeps few hours in the day or most of the hours in the night. So this is the basics of home bleaching, and commonly we use carbamide peroxide of low concentration of 10% to 15 to 20%. So higher the concentration, less is the duration per day. If lower the concentration, more is the duration for a day. For example, if the patient has to go for a overnight bleaching, give a lower concentration because he may wear it for at least 6 to 8 hours. Patient who wants day bleaching, he is willing to wear in the day, you can give a higher concentration because 3 hours would be good enough for him to do a day bleaching. So these are the small things. Yeah, the second most component is hydrogen peroxide. Now is much in demand related to foggings and all. So this hydrogen peroxide is a very strong bleaching agent, and it is also available in different concentrations depending upon the usage. तो ब्रॉडली अगर क्लासिफाई करें ब्लीचिंग को, एक हो गया होम ब्लीच और एक हो गया इन ऑफिस ब्लीच. होम ब्लीच में कंसंट्रेशंस लो होगा so that the patient can आराम से apply for long duration. In office bleach, the concentration would be higher because we can control all the procedure. All the procedure control is in our hand, so we can perform the procedure faster. So commonly used is hydrogen peroxide. So today we'll be also discussing how does this hydrogen peroxide acts on these pigments, which results in decrease in the pigmentation. So basically the chemistry is it breaks into water and nascent oxygen, and the main components, the free radicals which are formed, which acts as an oxidizing agent on the tooth, on the pigments present on the tooth. So basically the free radicals which are produced are per hydroxyl and a lot of others which we'll be discussing. So now in the component, just remember hydrogen peroxide is there, which is usually taken in a concentration of 35%, as this is the concentration in the form of solution or gel. Okay, so carbamide peroxide 5% to 20%, and hydrogen peroxide usually we perform procedures in office in a high concentration of around 35% is the most commonly used. Yeah, next. So abhi we were focusing on home bleach and in office. Okay. Now few, I'll say, veteran dentists also use sodium perborate. Sodium perborate is a beautiful bleaching agent which is specifically used in non-vital cases. So non-vital bleaching करने का है, तो sodium perborate is used, and it is available in mono, tri, tetrahydrate forms, which contains 95% of perborate and providing 10% of available oxygen. So basically this is the sodium perborate which is available in different forms and which is specifically used in non-vital bleaching. That is, after doing a root canal, obturation करने के बाद you put a barrier of, I'll say, GIC and followed by a cotton pellet, and then you put a perborate solution which I will be telling in the details and the techniques, and it helps in non-vital bleaching. Okay, so now after the main components, that is carbamide peroxide and hydrogen peroxide, the other components which plays very important role in maintaining the gelation or the concentration of the bleaching agent is the thickening agent, that is carbamopol. तो बेसिकली ये करता क्या है, ये एक थिक जेल की फॉर्म में उसको मेंटेन रखता है, थिक एजेंट के फॉर्म में मेंटेन रखता है, जैसे स्लोली एंड स्टेडीली द ऑक्सीजन इज रिलीज्ड एंड this high viscosity helps in longer retention of the material in the tray in terms of home bleach, and also when we do in office bleach, so that the solution stays on the teeth, that too for a longer period of time in terms of home bleach, and for at least half an hour in terms of office bleach. So it maintains that viscosity. So viscosity जब maintain रहता है, slowly and steadily the active components of hydrogen peroxide and the carbamide peroxide slowly and steadily diffuses into the enamel and then performs this bleaching action. तो ये component समझना इसलिए जरूरी है because we are more focused on the results. But if we know the chemistry and the composition of these bleaching agents, you will better able to get results and select the right cases, which is very important. Because components का chemistry जानना जरूरी है, क्या उसमें क्या release हो रहा है, which is causing the lightning. Other components are the urea, which helps in stabilizing H2O2. As we know, H2O2 is a very unstable compound. Oxidation बहुत जल्दी fast हो जाता है. So it stabilizes hydrogen peroxide so that it stays in an active form and then slowly and gradually converts into free radical form, which helps in oxidation. Increases the pH. We know these are the acidic components. The pH tends to be very low, so urea acts as a neutralizer by increasing the pH and has some components as a anti-cheirogenous effects. Other components, yeah. Finally, the other components which helps in maintaining a bleaching kit as a complete is the surfactants, which helps in good wetting, because if there is a good wetting of the bleaching agent on the tooth, then there will be a nice contact of the active ingredient with the enamel, and which slowly and gradually works by its oxidation reactions. Preservatives very important, as I told. The shelf life may be poor if we don't add preservatives, so we can add preservatives. Vehicle is glycerine, okay, for the smooth flow, and flavoring agents are also added because to have a sound taste or sound, I'll say at least perception of a taste, so that the patient is able to withstand the long duration in home bleach and a shorter duration in office bleach. So these are the common components. That is, first was the main component, carbamide peroxide, available in 5 to 20%. Then was hydrogen peroxide, mostly used in office bleach, in 35% is the common composition. Then we have the thickening agent, which helps to maintain in a gel form and allows easy and slowly release of the active components to the enamel, and followed by surfactant, preservatives, vehicle and flavoring agents. Now is the main core of my today's session, which I want you guys to understand. That is, what is the science behind bleaching? How does it act? What is the oxidation reaction which is taking place in carbamide peroxide or hydrogen peroxide? What are the active components which act on these pigmented molecules of tetracycline or any intrinsic tobacco stain or fluorosis tooth or whatever the discoloration is there? How actually it acts? So this funda will help you understand how bleaching agents act, and secondly what cases to avoid also. Okay, so basically on moving towards the science is, first of all, is linked to degradation of, basically how it acts. Mechanism of a bleaching agent is, when it starts acting, it is linked to a degradation of higher molecular weight complexes. Basically, these high molecular weight complexes are within the tooth enamel and dentine, which are seen or visible or reflected light is seen as a pigmented lesion. तो बेसिकली जो ब्लीचिंग एजेंट है वो एक्ट करते हैं और डिग्रेड करते हैं ये हाई मॉलिक्यूलर वेट ऑर्गेनिक मॉलिक्यूल्स जो टूथ में प्रेजेंट है एक्सट्रिंसिकली और इंट्रिंसिकली, and due to which the reflection of light result in a color which is appears to be a stained, basically a discolored tooth. Now what happens when the active components of a bleaching kit, bleaching components, that is H2O2 or carbon peroxide, are placed on the tooth? They causes degradation of these high molecular weight complexes. I'll tell you what are they, and result in a less complex molecules, in which when the light reflects, that is when the light reflects from the tooth, is interpreted as a less discolored, or I'll say totally elimination of discoloration. So it's I'll say more of a phenomenon of reducing the discoloration or elimination of the discoloration by the oxidation or degradation of the components. They are not removing these components, they are basically acting on these components or the discolored components, which causes them to lighten up or elimination. So basically what is happening, so when we take a hydrogen peroxide, so when we apply it on the tooth, which we all know is a very strong oxidizing agent, so जब हम टूथ पे अप्लाई करते हैं और इसका स्ट्रॉन्ग ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट का जो एक्शन स्टार्ट होता है, ये कन्वर्ट होता है इनटू अनस्टेबल फ्री रेडिकल्स लाइक peroxide ions, as we mentioned, hydroxyl ions, perhydroxyl ions, and also superoxide anions. So different unstable free radicals are formed when oxidization takes place. That is, जो आपका H2O2 आपने अप्लाई करा है वो धीरे धीरे dissociate होगा in terms of these free radicals, and these free radicals slowly and steadily will attack on the organic pigments. जो हमने अभी बोला था high molecular weight organic pigments है, जो which are present on the enamel or dentine and which are causing the tooth to discolor. So slowly and gradually, when there is I'll say unstable free radicals act on it, it results in breakage of the bonds which are formed in these heavily pigmented particles, and they make them less pigmented and sometimes almost eliminated, which is interpreted as a, I'll say, elimination of the discolored stain. So this way what happens, these free radicals, when they act on the discolored pigments, they causes it to lighten, and when the light reflects on the tooth, none of the pigments appear. So this is the simple funda or science behind this. And easily mild to moderate stains of tobacco, tetracycline, or I'll say other stains, other staining components, it may be due to other inherent fluorosis problem also. These can be lightened and the tooth may or will appear brighter. Okay. So depending upon the usage, if you use a low concentration, prefer to go for a home bleach. If you want faster results or next day results or within a week results or 2 to 3 days results, go for a office bleach. So office bleach will be higher concentration, totally under the monitoring of dentist, and the results would be faster. But selection of cases is very important. So as we understood the science behind, basically जो free radicals unstable produce होते हैं वो इन pigmented molecules को depigment करते हैं, but we also can add few initiators like photochemical reaction. Basically, we all know that when we put light, when we are doing a I'll say bleaching treatment, the results is faster. How it is faster? The formation of hydroxyl ions. जो hydroxyl free radicals produce हो रहे हैं from H2O2 are faster. तो basically hydroxyl free radicals or other free radicals जो produce हो रहे हैं are usually the reaction is much faster. So faster they are produced, faster they will act, and faster the results should be there. So the light which is acting, जो हमारी bleaching lights use होती हैं, basically the big machines which are there, and some people use the normal light curing units also, but bleaching lights are mainly effective because the light, I'll say wavelength is very important. Right wavelength will act in a right manner and will produce hydroxyl radicals and other free radicals faster, and the results would be faster. And also nowadays laser assisted bleaching is very much in demand. So laser also does the same role, but in a very controlled manner. That is, it helps in the conversion of these hydroxyl and other free radicals faster. So faster the action would be there. So basically the simple funda is there. Less duration the chemical agent is on the tooth surface, the lesser would be the side effects. So when we assist with light and laser, the duration of in-office bleach is reduced by less than half of the time. For example, if you are taking 30 to 40 minutes, or say 40 to 45 minutes for a normal in-office bleach, by assisting with laser and I'll say light, it may be reduced to, I'll say, half of the time. So this way the chemical which is acting on the tooth is for less duration and the results are faster. So add-on equipments is this way only. So light doesn't do any bleaching, lasers doesn't do any bleaching. They just fasten the action of a bleaching agent which has been used by the formation of free radicals, and they'll act on the organic pigments which are present on the tooth and result in a brighter teeth. So yeah, so now we are aware of the science, we are aware of the photochemical reactions which can be taken place by using a laser or a bleaching light. And now what it affects on the tooth is, yeah. So now earlier when the bleaching agents were used, they were mainly focused on the bleaching agents, that is carbon peroxide and I'll say hydrogen peroxide. Now the bleaching kits are added with, I'll say, anti-hypersensitive agents or desensitizer agents, which has reduced the sensitivity post bleaching procedures. Because we all are aware, very well aware, that a lot of hypersensitivity is the main chief complaint after doing a bleaching treatment on a patient. So this can be reduced readily by using a I'll say, before starting your bleaching treatment only, when you do protocols for scaling, just start with a desensitizing toothpaste. It works great, and also can start with desensitizing mouthwash. And now most of the kits are providing a desensitizer. So after your bleaching protocols, you can apply this desensitizer on the tooth, keep it for a few minutes, and then wash it off. The sensitivity complaint of the patient would be reduced to a very high extent. And what I like to add, you can also I'll say, you can also put the commonly used APF. So now as we are focusing on reducing the hypersensitivity, a very simple protocol which you guys can follow in your practice with less of investment is using a normal fluoride gel which we use for children's. By putting a fluoride application, you can use the same APF 1.23% APF जो मिलता है आपको अच्छा खासा 500 मिल जाता है, good amount of APF you get in a very cheaper price of 500 to 800, that you can buy, that you can load in a syringe and can apply on the tooth, not only in patients with which are having hypersensitivity for bleaching, but also in your routine cases in which sometimes the patient comes with severe hypersensitivity. Just load it in a syringe and just put it in the hypersensitivity area. Okay, you don't have to buy stronger Sun Pharma bonds and all, which are little expensive. You can also use these APF gels, which works great, and you can do multiple settings also. You just have to keep for 8 minutes on the hypersensitive area and then wash it. But very important is that the gel should stay on the hypersensitive tooth. That is very important. So these are simple protocols which you can follow in your clinical practice, not only in bleaching patients but also your routine patients. Or what I say, ki whenever you do a vital cutting, apply this hypersensitive, I'll say APF gel on the tooth, give temporization, and when he comes before bonding, also do again this desensitization procedure. So this will ensure the patient's tooth will stay vital and less sensitive. So in moving towards the topic, hypersensitivity related to post bleaching, it can be reduced significantly by using desensitizers, which also have fluoride. Now many of the companies have added amorphous calcium phosphate in the tooth whitening products, which reduces tooth sensitivity, reduces demineralization. As when we'll be proceeding to the further slides, we'll see the effects of bleaching agents on the enamel, on the dentine, on the other structures of the tooth and the oral soft tissues. So we are aware that few of the studies have reported that bleaching agents, when used on the tooth enamel, may cause demineralization. तो जब हम कैल्शियम फोस्फेट यूज करते हैं तो एक्सचेंज ऑफ आयंस हो जाता है, तो रीमल्नाइजेशन हो जाता है. आई से ऐड फ्लोराइड आल्सो and results in a stronger whitening treatment results and lustrous shine on the tooth. Okay, so most of the companies are adding, otherwise you can add a simple protocol of buying a desensitization. I'll do after scaling, also do after bleaching, also do in routine cases. The results would be great. The patient will never complain of hypersensitivity. Mild sensitivity is fine, but hypersensitivity complain nahi karega. So now, as we are moving towards the core of the protocols, before that, I just want to discuss what are the effects of these bleaching agents on enamel or individual tooth component, so that you are aware that these are the effects which could occur on the enamel or other tooth structures, and the post-operative and pre-operative precautions which you need to take care, you take in a very right manner. तो सबसे पहला क्या होता है इफेक्ट ऑन एनामल. एनामल में क्या करता है, इट डिक्रीजेस एनामल हार्डनेस एंड डीमिनरलाइजेशन. तो एज वी saw in the previous slide that tendency of demineralization is there. See, lot of studies have been done. Some studies show there is no effect on enamel hardness and demineralization, but some studies show they have affected enamel hardness and has done demineralization. So we never know what happens. It all depends upon the company or the bleaching composition, the concentration, and a lot of other things which you follow. But considering that this may happen, so you always use a desensitizing agent or a fluoride application, as I told just now regarding 1.23% APF works wonders, which can help in remyelinization. तो अगर एनामल पे कुछ इफेक्ट पड़ता भी है, आप ये प्रोटोकॉल फॉलो कर सकते हो. So guys, if you have any doubt till now, you can ask. You can write in the comment box. I'll take a few seconds break. So we'll be discussing on effects on different tooth structures. And one very strong protocol I will be discussing, which may be a regular treatment protocol post bleaching of a non-vital tooth. So that is very important for your routine practice. I just want, if you guys are understanding, write yes or why in the comment box, or any queries you can mention, so that I can start with the further. I should progress with my session now. Yes, understood. Okay, ठीक है, great. So now we are well aware of the components, science behind how it acts, what are the effects on enamel, and what cares you need to take pre-bleaching and post-bleaching. Okay. So now effects on dentine, pulp and cementum. Enamel में तो direct contact होता है, but sometimes क्या होता है, mild cracks are there, and it may ingress into the dentine part also, and from dentine pulpal communication is also very common. And cementum, especially in non-vital bleaching, we'll be telling in detail now. So what it has happened in terms of dentine, change in color through dentine. Okay. In case of pulp encroachment, yeah, because dentine has a communication with the pulp through dentinal diffuse, so tooth sensitivity is very common and very important. In terms of cementum पे क्या effect होता है? Now, if you must have read protocols for bleaching and side effects of bleaching. So in terms of non-vital tooth bleaching after root canal treatment, few cases have been reported with external resorption and cervical resorption when intracoronal bleaching was done with 30 to 35% of हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड. ठीक है, तो इनामल का इफेक्ट हमने देखा, डेंटिन पे भी देख लिया क्या चेंजेस इन कलर हो रहे थ्रू डेंटिन और कैसे वो पल्प पे इफेक्ट डाल सकता है थ्रू टूथ आई से सेंसिटिविटी. एंड दिस इफेक्ट ऑन सीमेंटम इज मेनली in cases with non-vital bleaching when we have used high concentration of H2O2. So funda clear hai, because in a non-vital tooth dentinal tubules are there. Okay, through dentinal tubules chances of leakage of the bleaching agent to the cementum can occur, and sometimes there could be an inadvertent reaction by cervical root resorption or external root resorption in selective cases only, not in every case. Okay, but if you use a specific component which have been advised since long other than H2O2 in such type of cases, the results are great. Now very important, अभी तक हमने टूथ पे इफेक्ट पढ़ लिया, एनामल पे इफेक्ट पढ़ा, डेंटिन पल्प सीमेंटम पे पढ़ा, but there are chances small composite restorations may be there on the tooth which you are doing bleaching. So we need to understand what these bleaching agents are doing on your any restorative material. It may be GIC or composites. I'll be focusing on composites because composite we prefer in the anti-tooth, and now most of the restorations can be done with composites. So इसमें भी controversies है. A lot of studies have been done. Some say this is just a summary of multiple studies which have been done since 1980s to 2012. Depending upon the type of composite, bonding agent which is used, or the protocols or the components of the bleaching agent which have used. So depending upon वो जो effect composites पे है वो है थोड़ा surface stiffening reported है, no doubt. That is due to etching because it is an acid H2O2. Tensile strength has been decreased in few cases of composites. That's what I'm telling. Depending on the bonding agents and the material which have been used, either it is a micro hybrid और इट इज अ नैनो हाइब्रिड. अगर बॉन्डिंग एजेंट आपने कर का ऑप्टी बॉन्ड एफएल यूज करा है या फिर दूसरी कंपनी का यूज करा है, दे हैव डन स्टडीज स्पेसिफिकली इन few cases in which different bonding agent and different composites are used. This is the summary which have been found that in few cases decrease in tensile strength, few cases surface roughening with etching, and also in few cases micro leakage has been reported. That is, जब हम ब्लीचिंग करते हैं there are chances that जो बॉन्डिंग हुआ है कॉम्पोजिट का एनामल से या डेंटिन से वो वीक हो जाए और जिसकी वजह से माइक्रो लीकेज हो जाए. तो these things have been reported but not in all cases guys. ठीक है, कलर पिगमेंट्स या तो कॉम्पोजिट्स में कलर चेंजेस कैसे होगा? इनहेरेंट कॉम्पोजिट का कलर चेंज नहीं होगा. Only the pigments which composites may have been incorporated due to the roughening of composites, they will get reduced or they will get unstained, that is bleached. That's it. तो surface में ये इफेक्ट पड़ेगा, कलर में as such कोई इफेक्ट नहीं पड़ेगा. only कलर चेंजेस होगा जो pigments composites ने ले लिए हैं, that only will get reduced. Mucosal irritation, yeah, we all know when we use high concentration of H2O2, it may cause burns. So we know that when we do in-office bleaching with high concentration of 35% H2O2, अगर वो solution हल्का सा भी lip पे लग जाए या फिर gums पे लग जाए, we can see the bleaching action on the soft tissues. That is, they become white. That is tissue burn. Some patients will have irritation or burning sensation. Some patients may not have. And bleaching of the gingiva. So whenever we are doing I'll say high concentration in office bleach, try to use a rubber dam. Okay, now so we have a basic protocols of using rubber dam in all our cases, or at least a good strong gingival barrier with Optra guard आता है, हाँ, जिससे lips आपके protect हो जाते हैं, at least that. तो वो चीज आप use Optragate is available by Avoclar, or use a routine rubber dam. ऑप्टरगेट यूज कर रहे हो तो जिंजाइवल बैरियर लगाया और ऑप्टरगेट यूज करा, तो उससे लिप्स आपके रिट्रैक्ट हो जाएंगे, यू कैन आराम से अप्लाई द ब्लीचिंग एजेंट, ठीक है। तो ऐसे हम लिप्स और गम्स को अवॉइड कर सकते हैं विद द side effects of hydrogen peroxide on their soft tissues. Okay, now this is the most important part which I want to discuss, because as we may routinely do bleaching on our patients with non-vital tooth or a vital tooth, तो bleaching जब हम करते हैं हमारे दो मेन इंडिकेशन क्राइटेरिया है, या फिर हम जर्नलाइज ब्लीचिंग करते हैं और जर्नलाइज दांत का शेड बेटर करते हैं, वी मेक इट मोर ब्राइटर, ठीक है, वैल्यू इंक्रीज करते हैं दांत की, या फिर वी डू अ लोकलाइज्ड टूथ व्हाइटनिंग इन केस ऑफ नॉन वाइटल टूथ और लोकलाइज्ड 2 और 3 टीथ व्हाइटनिंग इन केस ऑफ नॉन वाइटल टूथ। तो उसमें क्या होगा, आवर मेन फंडा इज टू रिड्यूस द डिस्कलरेशन। So because when we reduce the discoloration, we can do a veneering on it. Very important. Either with direct composite or with indirect PLVs, porcelain laminate veneers. तो कोई भी प्रोटोकॉल आपका हो सकता है, मगर अगर आपने ब्लीचिंग करा तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि वो उसने एनामल में क्या इफेक्ट करा है और क्या बॉन्ड स्ट्रेंथ में इफेक्ट आएगा आफ्टर ब्लीचिंग। दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट गाइस, because after bleaching, if you are planning for any restorative treatment in terms of direct composite or indirect porcelain laminate veneers, that is कोई भी bonded restoration आप प्लान कर रहे हो, अगर कोई भी bonded restoration प्लान कर रहे हो तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि ब्लीचिंग के बाद क्या करना है, क्या आपको टूथ पे प्रोटोकॉल्स प्ले करने हैं, so that you can do a I'll say bonded restoration immediately after your bleaching, or at least wait for 7 to 10 days. So now results, a lot of studies have shown that after bleaching, if we immediately go for a bonding procedure for a composite or a PLVs, there has been decreased in the bond strength. So a lot of reasons have been provided कि there is a residual peroxide layer on the tooth surface which interferes with the bonding, okay, and results in incomplete polymerization, or because of alteration in protein and mineral content of the superficial layers of enamel after bleaching, the bonding would be poor, or there will be interference in the bonding. तो मतलब हमें ये क्लियर है कि some of the studies have shown that bond strength decreases after bleaching. That is, we are talking immediately after bleaching अगर आपको bonding करनी है तो bond strength decrease होगी, किसकी, enamel to the composite, because we know there is alteration in the mineral content, protein content, and also sometimes there may be residual peroxide on the surface of the enamel which will interfere with the bonding. Now two things you can do. Agar for example it's a case in which you have to go for immediate bonding, for example, तो उस केस में you guys can use 10% sodium ascorbate, which is a very strong antioxidant agent. अब हमें पता है कि जो भी हमने हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड डाला है, लगाया है, उसके फ्री रेडिकल्स ने एक्ट करा और सारे स्टेन्स को लाइटन कर दिया या फिर एलिमिनेट कर दिया, राइट। नाउ ऑब्वियसली देयर इज अ स्ट्रांग ऑक्सीडेशन इफेक्ट ऑन द टूथ। तो जब टूथ पे बहुत स्ट्रांग ऑक्सीडेशन इफेक्ट हुआ है, अगर टूथ पे बहुत स्ट्रांग ऑक्सीडेशन इफेक्ट हुआ है तो if we use a strong antioxidant agent, जब हम strong antioxidant agent यूज करेंगे तो जो एक्टिविटी टूथ सरफेस पे ब्लीचिंग की वजह से हुई है वो कम हो जाएगी और आपकी बॉन्डिंग अच्छी हो जाएगी। तो फर्स्ट क्राइटेरिया इज दैट इफ यू वांट टू बॉन्ड पोस्ट ब्लीचिंग immediately, then go for a 10% sodium ascorbate you can use on the tooth surface and then followed by bonding. And also you can use grapeseed extract, but regularly the protocol which is followed, just wait for at least a week or at least ऐसे 7 to 10 days तक wait करने का है, उसके बाद कोई भी bonding procedure करने का है, so that the bonding is good, because our most of the restorations in anterior are bonded, either composite or a ceramic. So always wait for at least for a week to 7 days to go for a bonding procedure post bleaching. So guys, now I think हमने ना सारा साइंस पढ़ लिया केमिस्ट्री का ऑफ यूजिंग ब्लीचिंग एजेंट, सारे कंपोनेंट्स पढ़ लिए, उसके कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेशंस पढ़ लिए, हाउ इट एक्ट्स ऑन द टूथ भी पढ़ लिया, इफेक्ट्स ऑन एनामल पढ़ा हमने, फिर डेंटिन, पल्प, सीमेंटम सब पढ़ा, एंड देन फाइनली वी आल्सो discuss the effects on the composite when composite is already there on the tooth, and also effect on bonding when we have to do a bonded restoration post bleaching. अब ये चीज सारी क्लियर हो गई है, तो उसका मतलब ये है कि whenever you go for a bleaching procedure, now you know what to do before and what to do after, so that when you plan a treatment for a patient and you tell them कि these are the things, these are the time which will take place after bleaching, you have to wait for this time, or if you have to go for direct bonding, you have to use sodium ascorbate or grapeseed extract, whatever as per your protocols or as per the patient demands, how faster he or she wants the treatment, you can follow this. So now this is clear. Now I think we are strong enough to proceed with the main part which you all are waiting, that is different types of bleaching. Dental bleaching जो है different types की है, vital bleach, non vital bleach, home bleach, in office bleach. ठीक है, today as we have discussed a lot of chemistry and all, we will be discussing the most simplest dental bleaching, that is home bleach. Home bleaching is also known as night guard bleaching or vital bleaching, very commonly used in Western countries and few metropolitan cities in India also, because the patient tends to have a habit of white or bright teeth, so it becomes a very common routine protocol every year or two to go for a home bleach. So उसमें basically, as we mentioned earlier, that we use low concentration of the bleaching agent, that is usually 10 to 20% of carbamide peroxide, which is commonly used. And this 10 to 20% of carbamide peroxide is equivalent to 3.5 to 6.5% of hydrogen peroxide. तो home bleach में हम carbamide peroxide use करते हैं from the concentration of 10 to 20%. Some people also use 5% also, 15% also. So commonly used else is 10%. Those people who are doing home bleaching and want faster results, you can use up to 20%. That's it. No higher concentration, because when the patient is doing his bleaching itself, we are not able to monitor, and if you give them high concentration, and if by chance it touches the soft tissue or he, I'll say, swallows it, then a lot of ulceration, lot of painful symptoms would occur. So always try to use low concentration. Okay. So what are the indications of home bleach? Yeah, starting from the mild staining, which is age related. Basically, mild staining or external staining may be due to any stains, or age related discoloration of tooth or mild tetracycline stain. Basically, tetracycline is a drug which is given when the tooth development is taking place. So it forms complexes with the calcium present in the hydroxyapatite of enamel. तो वो क्रॉस लिंक्स बना लेता है और पिगमेंटेशन हो जाता है एनामल के अंदर, which result in discolored tooth. तो टेट्रासाइक्लिन के माइल्ड केसेस में you can go with home bleach. Mild fluorosis case, yes, definitely, जिसमें light yellow brown stains हैं, tobacco stains, okay, and color changes to pulp following trauma or necrosis. So these are the cases in which there is mild discoloration and we can go for home bleach. And very important to avoid the cases which have cracks, which have fracture lines, severe fluorosis cases or severe tetrus lines cases, because severe cases you should avoid actually. We will be discussing later in detail. And very important in patients which have extremely sensitive teeth, very important. Avoid bleaching in patients with hypersensitive teeth. Okay, go for non-prep veneers or minimal prep veneers would be a better option and long-lasting option. And very important, very commonly what I have been observing, that many of my fellow colleagues have done bleaching or have advised bleaching in patients with fluorosis with opaque white spots. Okay, if you do bleaching in patients with opaque white spots, guys, this opaque white spot will increase in its intensity. तो जितना पहले हल्का हल्का opaque white spot दिख रहा था वो अब ज्यादा दिखेगा bleaching के बाद. So opaque white spot are not an ideal case for bleaching. You can go for anything which is covering the enamel. And I'll say minimal crepe veneers would work great. ठीक है? So these indications and contraindications you should take care. In home bleaching, our main role is to fabricate a customized tray which the patient can wear overnight or day according to his or her comfort. The normal size which is used is 0.05 inches or 0.05 inches. On an average standard 0.05 inch होता है और flexible plastic tray होती है ethyl vinyl acetate की, which you don't have to make, you just have to take an impression, send it to the lab. And what I'll say, what you can advise the lab to trim the margins of the gingiva on which the tray has to made, so that when the tray is made, it will lock in the gingival areas, so that excess flow of the bleaching material won't go in the gums. Guys, it is very important. I'll just repeat it again. If you are planning for a home bleach and you are planning to make a customized tray for the patient, what you can do, you can ask the lab guy to trim the cast on the marginal gingiva, a little on the cervical areas, or I'll say slightly cervically, marginal gingiva भी छोड़ो, cervically of the tooth पे, slightly into the gingival sulcus, आप उसको हल्का 0.5 mm ट्रिम कर दो. तो उससे क्या होगा, जब ब्लीचिंग ट्रे बनेगी, वो वैक्यूम में बनती है, हीट प्रेस्ड होती है, तो वो उस सर्वाइकल एरिया में लॉक हो जाएगी. Why it will lock? Because you have a little trimmed the tooth in the cervical area, so the tray which is made will be thicker in the cervical area, and the accidental, I'll say, overflow of the bleaching agent would be almost avoided. So this simple protocol, what I'll say, will help you to make a customized bleaching tray in which excessive flow of that from the tray to the gums will be avoided. Very simple. So in general, it is recommended is 10% carbamide peroxide, as I mentioned, and if he or she is wearing at night, 6 to 8 hours per day is good enough. If for day, 3 to 4 hours is good enough. So if he or she wants to wear in the day, you can give a little higher concentration, that is up to 20%, because the duration of wearing is less, so you can go for a higher concentration. But if he or she is wearing at the night, you can give a bleaching kit with low concentration of 10% or 5%, where he or she has to wait for 6 to 8 hours. Now in between, you can call the patient to supervise, to check how he or she is using the trays and loading it in her mouth. That is, it is more on patient dependent, less on dentist dependent. Our main role is just to provide the right kit and the right customized tray. That's it. So bleaching gel is applied to the teeth through a custom fabricated mouth guard or a bleaching tray, which I told you, at night. And the duration is depending actually. If he's a day wearer with high concentration, it may take 1 to 3 weeks. And sometimes night wearer with very low concentration may take 2 to 4 weeks. So on an average 2 to 3 weeks में result आ जाता है. So office bleaching will cover tomorrow. I think today it was good enough to cover the basics, from composition to the science to the effect on enamel, composite and home bleach. Tomorrow we'll be discussing in office bleach in terms of vital and non-vital, a little of microabrasion, and the science behind, I'll say, laser assisted and light assisted bleaching we have already discussed. We can discuss tomorrow again. So these are the things which we'll be discussing. So tomorrow it would be, I'll say, good enough to start with the same session. So tomorrow at the same time after 9:45 we'll do a complete session on the protocols of in-office bleach of vital and non-vital tooth along with microabrasion. So guys, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. You can put that doubts in the comment box. Because today was more of theoretical. I think theory we need to understand for bleaching actually, because we are always confused in which case to use, go for bleaching, in which case not to use. So when you understand the science, the indications, contraindications, you will be more aware how to manage tissue burn if it happens. Haha. First of all, see, if tissue burns happens ना, आप उसको eliminate तो नहीं कर सकते. You can just provide a gel or any, I'll say menthol or जो भी any normal जो routine gels आप देते हो या फिर menthol related pastes which you can tell them, and you can just mention them before only कि ये चीज हो गया but it will go. तो जितना टाइम एक नई एपिथेलियम को बनने में लगता है 7 to 21 days, वो वापस आ जाएगा. My main concern is to avoid. So Dr. Abhishek, you can avoid directly by putting a rubber dam or Optragate. If it happens, we can just manage because only few patients will have burning sensation. ठीक है, तो आप कोई भी एसिडिक चीज लगेगी तो आप कॉस्टिक चीज पे आओगे. कोई भी कॉस्टिक चीज आप अप्लाई करने को बोल सकते हो, और साथ में यू कैन गिव अ नॉर्मल रूटीन जेल इफ ही और शी इज हैविंग बर्निंग. तो उसमें लिग्नोकेन होगा तो इफेक्ट कम रहेगा. Otherwise, you just have to wait for a week or two, so that the slowly and steadily उसका epithelium renew होगा, नया epithelium बनेगा और वो discoloration चले जाएगा. It's not permanent. You don't need to worry. So guys, any more queries? And I'll check if any special ointment is available for managing bleaching burns. Tomorrow we'll discuss. So if it is clear, I can end the session. And we'll be back tomorrow at the same time. Till then, bye-bye, good night, take care. Yes.